Alrighty, 6th grade mathematicians, here we are. We are in chapter 6, lesson 2. We are going to be starting numerical expressions. Okay, this is where algebra begins, starting with expressions and figuring out how we do algebra. So you need to have your book open and a pencil ready to page 442. We are going to go ahead and skip the first page and jump right into 442. So you get yourself ready while I get myself ready. Remember, at any time, if you need to hit the pause button, hit the pause button. Okay, you know how this works. Your book should be filled out exactly how mine is filled out. All right, so we're going to be talking about orders of operation. You're going to hear Mrs. Horner say this all the time, orders of operation. Now, to get started, this is the order of operation. So when we get an expression, we have to follow these just like we do when we are multiplying and dividing. There are rules. There's a way that we have to follow stuff. When we start doing expressions and equations, you must follow this rule. It's going to be embedded in your head. You're going to hear me say it all the time. But what you're doing is, the first thing you're doing is you are simplifying the expression inside the group using symbols like parentheses. Okay? Then you're going to find the value of all the powers, which is your exponents. And then you're going to multiply and divide, whichever ones comes first from left to right, like when you read. And then you're going to add or subtract in order from left to right how you read. Now, there is a way that Mrs. Horner helps you remember this, because that seems like an awful lot to remember. It is called, and you're going to write this over here, P-E-M-D-A-S, PEMDAS, okay? Otherwise known as, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so you're going to hear me say this sentence a lot. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So, what does the P really stand for in this situation? It stands for parentheses. Anything that we have to do first is going to be in the parentheses. So if we see parentheses, that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is the E. Anybody know what the E stands for? You just learned it in lesson 1. Very good. That is the exponents. Okay? And the M and the D stands for multiply or divide, and you go in order from left to right, just like when you read. So if division comes first, you're going to do division, and then you're going to multiply. Okay, so the M and D get flipped around. Okay, it just helps us with the sentence, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and it helps us remember to multiply, divide, but they can go back or forth. So, and then the A and the S stands for add or subtract from left to right. Okay, you always go from left to right, no matter what. It's just like reading. So if you follow these simple steps, you will be just fine. So what does that really mean? How does that work? Take a look here. Example number 1. Again, I want you to do what I'm doing. So we're going to rewrite this problem. 10 minus 2 plus 8. We are going to walk through every single one of these P-E-M-D-A-S. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P, parentheses. Do we have any parentheses? Nope, I don't see any. So now we can move on. E, exponents. Do I have any numbers with exponents? Nope. Now I can move on. M-D, multiply or divide. Am I multiplying or dividing? Nope, I'm not multiplying or dividing, so now I can move on. A-S, add or subtract. Now, it is from left to right. So I have to do what comes first. And what comes first is my 10 minus 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. And then I have to bring the rest of this down. You must learn how to stay organized and how to go line by line by line. Okay? If you have really bad handwriting and you are really sloppy, this is where it needs to change, because Mrs. Horner is not going to be able to see where your mistake is made if you have writing all over the place when we're doing expressions and equations. All right, so 8 plus 8 is 16. Okay, now, let's say you did this problem incorrectly and you did not follow the rules. You just decided, and I'm going to do this in pink, okay, this is the wrong way. So if you did 10 minus 2 plus 8, and you decided you were going to add first, because you like to add first. You're not following, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You're just deciding I'm just going to do that first. Watch what happens. So if I did this first, my answer would be 0. That is wrong. You have to follow your order of operations. Okay? All right, let's practice. So over here, because I can't see it, you guys still might be able to see it, but over here down below, it doesn't matter. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Everybody write that down. That is non-negotiable. The P stands for parentheses, so draw parentheses. The E stands for exponents. Write the word. The M stands for multiplication. The D stands for divide. Again, from left to right. I can't tell which way because it's backwards. So either way, I'm not sure if it's left to right this way or if it's left to right this way because it's backwards in my camera. So just like when you read a book, just go left to right. It's not that hard, okay? And the A and the S means to add or subtract from left to right. Now that we have this here, let's solve this problem. First thing you're going to do, everybody rewrite the problem. I don't care if it is there and typed, you rewrite the problem. So we're going to write 10 plus 2 times 15. Here we go. Parentheses. Do we have any? No. So we move on to exponents. Exponents. Do we have any? No. So we move on. Multiply or divide. Do we have multiplication and division? We sure do. It is right here. Okay? Do exactly what I'm doing. Write it down exactly how I'm writing it down. So I'm going to take 2 times 15. If you don't know 2 times 15, you have this awesome little handy dandy calculator that was invented in I don't know when. Okay? So use your calculator. Okay? 2 times 15 is 30. Now I have to bring everything else down. I only use the 2, the times sign, and the 15. So I have to bring down my 10 and I have to bring down my adding sign. All right. So now I've multiplied, divided, done. Add, subtract. I have adding left. 10 plus 30 is 40. So my answer is 40. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem. 16, rewrite it, divided by 2 times 4. I love this problem. Okay, P. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P stands for parentheses. You should be saying this right now because you're going to be saying it when you're sleeping. Okay, P stands for parentheses. E stands for exponents. Do I have any exponents? Nope, not yet. Multiplication and division. Yes, I've got both of them, but I have to do them in order from left to right. So, left to right, which one comes first? 16 divided by 2 comes first. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. I then bring the rest of my expression down, times 4. Look how nice and neat it becomes. It starts here, it goes here, and it goes here. Okay? You have to make it nice and neat. 8 times 4 is 32. My answer is 32. Do not put an equal sign in here. These are not equations. This is an expression. An expression does not have an equal sign. So that's why you do not see an equal sign on any of mine. Okay? All right. So go to the next page. Parentheses and exponents. So page 443. Now we're going to be taking a look at the P and the E. Nothing changes. We're just going to do whatever comes first. So let's practice. Let's take a look at number 5. Okay? Number 5, we're going to rewrite it over here. First of all, we are going to write, whoops, hang on, P, parentheses, E, exponents. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Multiply or divide, add or subtract. Yes, you're writing it again. So I better see this written all over your paper until it starts really settling in. All right, so we're going to rewrite this problem. 5, don't write it like that because that looked terrible. 5 plus, in parentheses, 8 to the second minus 2 times 2. All right, P parentheses. Do we have stuff in parentheses? Yes, we have to do that first. But take a look at what's in my parentheses. In my parentheses is an exponent. So I have 8 to the second power. Again, you can use your calculator to do 8 to the second power. Remember that button, that little caret, or it was the X with the little Y up at the top? You can use your calculator for that, or you can just do 8 times 8. Remember, it is not 8 times 2. It is 8 times 8. So I'm going to bring this part down, and I'm going to get rid of my exponent in my parentheses. So 8 times 8 is 64. I'm going to bring down that minus 2 that's in there, and then I have times 2 at the end. Now, P, parentheses. Yes, I have to still do what's in my parentheses to get rid of it. So I'm going to bring my 5 plus 64 minus 2 is 62 times 2. Okay, so far so good, right? All right, so P parentheses, E exponents. Check, check, done, done. Now we move on to multiplication and division. Oh, we do have multiplication. It's right here. So 62 times 2. Use your calculator. Okay, 62 times 2, just because I've done this before, but use your calculator, 124. And I bring down my plus 5. Everything, do you see how it's getting smaller? Okay, so then I'm going to take 5 plus 124, and I get 129 for my answer. Okay, let's practice. I believe you have enough room right here. Okay, all right, so let's rewrite the problem. We're going to put, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, add or subtract. So 25 times 5 minus 2 in parentheses divided by 5 minus 12. Whoa, doesn't matter. Slow down, take your time. We're first going to do what is in the parentheses. Okay, P parentheses. So 5 minus 2 is 3. That's easy. So 25 times, we did the parentheses, divided by 5 minus 12. I brought everything down. Notice it's already getting smaller. So P parentheses, E exponents. Anything done with exponents? Nope. Multiplication division from left to right. So I have to work left to right. So I'm going to do 25 times 3, which is 75, and then I bring the rest of it down. Now I'm still in multiply and divide. Can I divide next? Yes, because division comes first. So 75 divided by 5 is 15. Bring down your minus 12. Now 15 minus 12 is 3. Okay, seemed like a very long problem, but very doable. All right, the next one, we're going to do 24 divided by 2 to the third plus 4. So 24 divided by parentheses. So we have to do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay, plus 4. Now we actually do this. 24 divided by, and then we do our parentheses, 8 plus 4, which is 12. Now I'm just left with 24 divided by 12, which is 2. Notice that it looks like this. Okay, this is part 1 of the video. We are going to move on to part 2, which is going to be shorter, but it's going to have examples on the next pages. So make sure you follow up by watching part 2.